say to me?
No, I said, come with the kick drum. Come. When you were tapping your little stir stick on your tea.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Welcome, everybody. Episode 35.
Yes.
Infinite Weekend.
35.
Okay.
Far
wow.
South of the border.
That was cool. Thank you. Yeah. Well, we're in 16 countries.
And Brandon.
According to NB. Gracias. It did 16 countries. I just got a report last week for our yearly roundup. Over 1,500 downloads, 16 countries.
I still like that.
7,000 cities.
I still like that. Like our dozen listeners in Vegas are probably all strippers.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a flex, but yeah, it's amazing how we
it's just funny to me.
because we made a bunch of shit up. Like I told somebody we were in the tech field, like, oh, you sound so smart. I'm like, oh, it's a big deal. We're also host a podcast. Right. Oh, what's it called? It's huge.
We're in digital entertainment.
I said this is serious. That's why we're in t-shirts and jeans. And
why we're like Mark Zuckerberg.
And then literally the next day it was like 16 new downloads, and it was like, we're at Nevada. I'm like, well, you know what? That's commitment.
Yeah, that's fine.
So made a good impression.
We don't discriminate.
Nope. Thank you.
It's a noble profession.
Yeah. So, no, it's good to be back on. We're still inconsistent on our days that we record because we're lazy on the weekends. We got to get back to the certain day. But yeah, they still post on Monday, and that's exciting.
Yeah, post by Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, and the great thing is tonight's the Grammys. Anybody cares?
Nor I don't care about the Grammys.
You care about Taylor Swift.
I do.
She's there.
She's cute.
Yep, and then
unpopular opinion. I don't give a flying fuck about her music.
I know,
but something about the way she
it's
her
fine.
look. I don't know what it is.
My dad says the same thing. I just don't like her.
Really, your dad says the same thing. He likes.
I said I don't like her, and he's like, I don't either, but she's attractive, and I was like, that makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah, but so like the same thing he said about what was her name? Charlize Theron. She came on one time for an award, and I was like, holy smokes, look how short her hair is. And Dad's like, I didn't know she had a head. Like, she's beautiful.
Right.
So like, that's a good one too. But yeah, so Harry Styles is there in a onesie, of course, which I don't know why people thirst over that.
I find it odd. I mean, I get it because he's like
I don't get it.
He's a musician and they play by different rules.
He's artsy.
It's the same.
Was it thespian?
Well, I mean, yeah, thespian.
It's a new pronoun.
I identify as a thespian. I find it odd that someone like Harry Styles can go around dresses and all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Women throw themselves at him, and he probably is drowning in it. But there's some dudes in there. There's got to be.
I don't know.
You think he's fucked some dudes?
I don't think so.
Let some dudes fuck him?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't get that vibe at all. I think it's strictly just to entertain. Like if you I'm gonna look at it this way. Not that I agree with what he does, but and some of his music's pretty good. I'm not going to knock him for it because I like Justin Bieber as well, like the whole whatever. But I think what happened,
Watermelon Sugar, don't you?
I don't like that song. But I think what it is, and I could be wrong here. If it was me, let's just say you were in front of thousands of people, right? And you're like, okay, cool. I've got 20,000 women watching me or men, whatever, and I get more success by dressing like a jackass.
It's his thing. It's his
I'd
niche.
probably dress like a jackass.
It's his shtick.
I'd probably dress like a jackass.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing, he's not. It's nothing new. It's just the fact that he's more.
Oh, I mean, Steven Tyler wore women's clothes from Kmart.
Rock stars did that shit when the 80s hair bands. They had the hair like Farrah Fawcett.
Wore women's clothes.
Exactly. So rock stars have always been kind of androgynous. I think he's taking it to the next level, and also saying it's not just for like Aerosmith and those guys.
They did it to get chicks.
Right, and it was a fashion statement. Yeah, it was a thing that they did to set themselves apart, and they looked unique and all this kind of stuff. Harry Styles does it to explicitly say, well, it's because, he's agreeing with the whole gender ideology thing, non-binary bullshit, right?
Yeah, that's
the difference. That's the difference.
Timothy Chalamet did it too.
But my thing is, I'm thinking, like, because I know that, because that's how he's either he believes it or he's just playing lip service to it. I don't know. But I'm looking at him, I'm like, just find it odd that women throw themselves at that dude. Looking like that.
Does it make you feel like you should change your
because
attire?
I can't sing.
You don't know. Have you ever tried?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to sing?
Yeah. Who hasn't tried to sing?
I've never tried it.
You never tried to
I've
sing?
never tried to you go to church or something, you sing along, but you can round it out. But I've never really tried to see, because I always told myself, what if I'm actually really good?
Give me a note.
I'm not on the show. Absolutely not. If I was drunk, yes. If I was drinking heavily, I would
get the beer, Steve. Get the beer.
But my thing is like, I just don't. I've never tried. Maybe I should try, like just to see if I'm any good.
Look, just do it by yourself.
All right, but then I'll start laughing.
Do it in the bathroom. You will start laughing. I'm already laughing.
Yeah.
Do it in the bathroom. Great acoustics.
I don't know why you're laughing at me for singing because I might be good, and you're like, I don't think so.
You're gonna be a huge success.
Harper told me I sound like shit.
She's probably right.
Because she sang the other day, and she's like, I can change the sound of my voice, Dad. Watch this. And like she's raising and lowering, and she sings every country song on the market.
Yeah.
We were driving on the road the other day, and I'm like, how do you know that? Let's do it every morning with Mom. I'm like, but you can't memorize a couple words, but you can belt an entire chorus.
Yep.
But anyway, she told me, I was singing the other day, it was an 80s song, just bullshit in the kitchen. She was like, you don't sound very good. I'm like, okay. Well.
So you do sing? Or
Yeah, but it's just like goofy singing. I've never literally okay, I'm going to commit to this note.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. I need you. I'm counting on you. Give me that bravado. Like I'm, from Step Brothers. I've never tried that. Like when they were in the car.
Like actually tried to
sing.
be good. Yeah.
I think I tried it once on The Wizard of Oz, and it was weird.
What we used to do when we were at work, we'd be like, "She's my lady."
Yeah, but you have to hold your ear while you do it.
Hold the earpiece.
Yeah. I've tried that. That's about as much singing.
Where the fuck did that even come from? Why did we do that?
So that came from.
Was it is it Wedding Crash? Is that
no? It's not Wedding Crashers. It's the Dan band from Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell. What was it with
Old School.
Luke Wilson? Old School.
Yeah.
They had that at the wedding, and he was like, Vince Vaughn was like, lady. And he was drunk with his hand in the air.
He was in the crowd.
So when we did that, we just grabbed it for some reason, and then. That's another group of guys that we would get along with great. They just don't know it.
Anytime we were talking about, I know somebody mentioned some hot female.
Anytime somebody would,
right.
Or somebody would say Steve, or somebody would, there's always a cue. You got to get queued up.
Something.
And then we'd hit it. Yeah. But I've never tried to sing. I need to try it, I guess.
Give it a try. What do you think you're going to go, country? You think, where's your speed?
Probably 90s R&B, if I had to pick. I'm looking probably like a young Brad McKnight or Boys to Men. I think that'd be more my speed. Or Seal.
You're trying to be one of them light-skinned brothers.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Brian McKnight's is pretty dark. He's not Akon dark, but he's pretty dark. Right. But anyways, I grew up, that was my list whenever I was sad or sulking like a bitch. I'd put that on. I still listen to it.
Can't be R. Kelly because
I want to pee on you. Yeah. Well, you can do pre-pee. If you do pre-pee,
pre-piss,
you're fine.
It's good.
So, I think that's where my sweet spot will be, and I'll try it.
Yeah.
But the problem, I don't know. Nobody had to be home, because if Kylie walks in, she's going to record it, and it will be on Instagram.
It'll be awesome.
Which, by the way,
what if you actually are good?
It's going to take me places.
You think so?
Yeah, I'll finally get a tattoo on my neck. Because then I'll know I don't have to be in an office job anymore. I can literally just be 100%. A singer. I'll be an artist.
Exactly.
And I can stamp it on there.
You should hit up Gage. Be like, hook me, because he's got to know some people.
Yeah, he knows people.
He's plugged in that world, and then you're off to the races.
He actually got me hooked up, not necessarily hooked up with, but I got to actually, one of my childhood heroes, kind of, sort of. Mm-hmm. I'm now friends with on Instagram. We talk fairly often.
It worked out for you.
It worked out pretty cool. He called me and asked me who he was. It was Malcolm McCassie. So, huge deal. And then, sure enough, he added me, and I was like, oh. And then, we talked a little bit, talked twice, and I was like, this is cool. This is fucking cool. And, of course, me being me, I kept it cool, just kind of casual. It's cool. We're talking about the race this year and, dirt bikes back and forth. And all of a sudden, I was like, don't do it, Josh. Just let it go. And I was like, nope, I got to say something. So I get on there, and, of course, I was like, look, I said, I don't know. I'm going to get this out. I'm going to fangirl real quick. Let me get this off. Let me get this out. This is really awesome because I met you when I was 13 years old in St. Louis. Took pictures with you, autograph, and have watched your videos from your career up now 16 years. I said, so getting to chat with you is fucking cool. And he said the greatest one line ever. He was like, Moto brings the best people together. And I was like, it fucking does. So yeah, it was cool. I was really excited.
You hear that, kids?
Hey,
be a brand groupie.
Be a brand groupie. Slide the DMs, and it works out. It does work out.
Persistence is key.
Yep. But it's my year, dude. I'm telling you, it's my year. There's going to be some big shit in the pipe. It's my year.
Me too. I'm not saying mine. Mine's
ours are going way different directions.
Way different.
Our podcast brings us together to talk about our problems.
You're going entourage, and I'm going I don't know.
Yeah.
Business professional.
Yeah, because recently I've gotten more sponsors too. They're and I told, it was funny, we went riding this morning, and I was getting all my new stuff, trying it out. I've never used their product, so I bought some. Of course, obviously, got on. I told my dad, I was like, I said, I don't know why these people keep throwing shit at me. Like, maybe they think I ride better than I do, or they just like, this guy spends so much money with us anyways, just throw him a deal because he'll spend the same amount of money. And of course he looks at me and he's like, it's probably because you spend all the money. It's
probably because you spend the money. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a good rider. It's not that, but it's like, they're not coming to watch me.
No.
So, I don't know. It's cool. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, they give you a discount, throw some stuff at you.
Oh, dude, it's great.
Like,
it's great.
And so you'll buy more of it.
It's fantastic. Right. And they're super cool people. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's hopefully there's some stuff coming up too. Maybe I'll get involved in. We'll see. It's cool. This pod needs to blow up too. This podcast needs to take us somewhere. Numbers are going up steadily. I like it.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that's true.
Oh, when we mentioned food, our last episode, trying new food, did we mention last episode, right? We talked about
trying some
foods.
We've mentioned it before.
I had some people send me some stuff. I had a friend of mine send me some chips to try. It's really random.
Oh, yeah?
I'll tell you the name of them.
Remember we were going to do...
yeah, so they're called On the Border Cafe Style, but they're the queso flavor. Told me to give them a try. I haven't got them yet. Publix didn't have them today. And another friend of mine said to try...
You ever tried the On the Border salsa? It's a different kind of
It's a little more authentic, if you will. Yeah. And then I was told also to try this place for pizza by a friend of mine. Hold on. Shit. I don't have it saved.
Remember we were talking about coffee? We were going to do one sip.
The one sip. And then people started sending me stuff to try.
Okay, so that's what I was like. I don't remember food.
Yeah.
Maybe we did.
So... yeah, the one sip thing I think is going to be good. My other buddy that does the Schmidt stories, scary stories and stuff, the other podcast, friend of mine, Ethan, they're doing a podcast, a new one. He's doing another show where a friend of his apparently is not in the culture of music or movies and anything. He's behind,
right.
So they're doing a whole thing on him experiencing pop culture stuff. Like they're about to do the original 90s Batman series, like the Tim Burton ones.
Yes.
So he's going to take him on an adventure and then they're going to talk about him on their show. He's never seen any of that stuff. Right. We're talking like Lord of the Rings, but like big stuff. They're going to go back in and watch all that stuff and then talk about it on their show. It's kind of a cool idea.
Okay. Kind of neat. Introducing someone to the cult.
It's like you're positively roasting someone in a positive fashion. I think. I haven't listened to the show yet. It hasn't come out yet. They're about to do their first episode.
What if like all this stuff that we've geeked out on as kids and we have kind of the nostalgia for, he just shits all over. He's like, this is
actually dumb. Watching it as this middle age, he probably will.
Probably would.
Yeah, he's probably going to think it's fucking terrible. Yeah. Which is fine.
He's if you watch the Tim Burton Batman after what's already come out, you can be like, what the fuck is this? But like, that's our Batman.
Yeah, but Jack Nicholson, though, still is. Yeah. It's a pretty cool joke. Yeah. I'll take it. Oh, we were supposed to watch the films, by the way. Oh, we need to talk about that Last of Us episode.
Yeah, I think we should.
We need to talk about that because... which is
should be, by the time people are listening, the next episode 4 will already be out.
Is it 3?
No, episode 4.
Excuse me, 4 comes out today, right?
Like right now, but we're recording. So, so episode 3. First of all, I've read so many different reviews of it. Of people that have played the game, people that didn't play the game, people that liked the show, people that didn't like the show.
I've never played the games, just to add that to this mix.
So I like the show and have played the games. First 2 episodes were pretty 1-to-1. Basically, first 2 episodes were 1-to-1 from the game, pretty close. It was the things that happened in the game was happening in the first 2 episodes. Plus, they would add some stuff. All that stuff where they would go back into. That was like the 60s or 70s where the scientists were...
Oh, to give a little quick thing on what this... If you've never seen The Last of Us, it's about a fungal... And correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, I'm going to break it down just simple. It's a fungal...
Basically, climate change makes the planet hotter. It has forced evolution of fungus to be able to adapt to human body temperature, and therefore they can affect the human body.
And it gets into...
And there's one particular fungus called a cordyceps that releases chemicals in your brain that cause hallucinations and can kind of control your body, essentially. It's a real fungus that affects insects, but insects don't have as high a body temperature as we do, right, because they're insects. But now cordyceps can invade humans, and they operate just like they would if they were an insect, where they can control them, so they're zombie-like, right? So that's basically what happened is outbreak. And the thing about fungus is it's not like a bacteria or a viral infection. It's it's a lot more pervasive, and there's not really like a vaccine or a cure for it, right? I'm sure there's. But the thing is, like, I was having this conversation with somebody, and I need to look this up. I know there's antifungals, like topical
for like
creams,
athlete's foot,
but I guess there's not. Is there an antifungal that is internal?
Well, there's no, because you don't get internal fungus,
right?
Not really. It's all exterior on the outside, so it's no,
right. Because I mean, like, there's I
don't think
topical creams for like athlete's foot and rashes, and I guess athlete's foot is the only fungus I can.
Well, you get what's that stuff? You get what is that? You get like when you're growing and stuff. That's really bad chafing. But isn't there not that
herpes?
You can also get fungal? No, it's not the herp. It's something else. It's not the clap. I don't know. It's something else that's fungal that you get too. It's almost like athlete's foot, but it gets in your groin area too.
Maybe.
I think.
Well,
but either way,
I think it's like also like jungle rot. In Vietnam,
yeah, that's what it is. Jungle rot.
I don't know. Maybe that was bacteria.
Thighs.
But anyway, that's a side conversation. So anyway, that's the premise. And so it follows two characters mainly in the game is Joel and Ellie. And Joel is he lost his daughter early on. Spoiler, and it's 20 years later after the initial outbreak, and he's kind of grizzled. He's kind of disgruntled. He's kind of like shut away. He doesn't care about people as much. He does have a little slant.
The world kind of looks like I Am Legend.
Yeah, kind of like that. And people are just trying to survive and get by. But Joel's pretty much closed himself off.
Yeah.
And then Ellie comes along, and she's a young adolescent. Probably, I don't know what, 14. I think she said she was in the show. 13, 14.
14.
And she is an orphan, and she ends up getting bit, but she doesn't turn. She does the fungus does not affect her.
You're really giving this shit away.
So the premise of the game is you play Joel. You've got to take Ellie to out west because they're set in Boston to a facility of these kind of terrorist types, freedom fighters they would call themselves. They have a facility to where they can examine her and try to develop a cure because she's the first person they've come across that is immune to the cordyceps, right? And in the game, it's spores. It's not actually cordyceps. Because cordyceps is like a little stringy like fungus, and then and there's a whole bunch of other fungus that, like, if the climate change would force kind of the evolution of one fungus, it could probably do it to some other ones. So it's not, cordyceps isn't the only fungus that is now can invade the human body. Because if you notice, it's not just the stringy ones. They also get like the plumy ones and the moldy ones and all that kind of stuff. And so multiple ones are now can kind of ride the coattails of the cordyceps, I guess. And you can have all these different variants of infected people. But that's the premise of the game. So episode 1 and 2 is pretty close to that. So at some point, shit goes down, and they are going to end up. That was my phone. They're going to end up meeting with a guy who's kind of like a doomsday prepper to get a truck so they can go out west to this facility. Right. That's what episode 3 is supposed to be about. And it starts off fine. Right. She goes down that little in the basement.
Yeah.
Has a little interaction with one of the infected, which was kind of cool. And then, she keeps trying to get a gun and all this kind of stuff. So it's interesting. And then it transfers to Nick Offerman's character. Basically, Apocalypse Ron Swanson. Because that's basically the character that he plays is Ron Swanson. That's probably my...
I thought that was my mic. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't interrupt you. I heard that buzz, and I'm like, is that my... I'm getting some feedback. It's that Chinese balloon.
Yeah, right? Oh, my God. But so episode 3 is not something that happens in the game at all. It's only implied. Okay, so whenever Ellie and Joel come across Bill, they do come in a town where he pretty much controls the whole town. There is booby traps everywhere. That was also accurate. And the way Bill looked and acted was pretty similar.
Is it a gated community like it isn't? Does he have a gate?
He's got it kind of fenced off. He's got it barricaded and everything like that. But he doesn't. He has his own house, but he's kind of got stuff everywhere. So it's not like.
Who's it portrayed? What's that guy's Nick Offerman? Nick Offerman in the show portrays Bill.
Yeah, and so when you come across him in the game, Bill owes Joel a favor, right? And he's like, all right, I'm cashing this in. I need a truck with a battery so we can get out west. And he's like, I got one. And they in the game, you're going through this whole thing. You're fighting off the infected and all this kind of stuff. It's actually the first time you come across a bloater, I'm pretty sure, in the gym. And So we didn't get that in episode 3.
We got even better stuff.
Yeah, we got a different kind. Yeah. And the other thing is there's actually some pretty funny banter between Ellie and Bill. They collide immediately, and they don't like each other. And he's shitting all over her, and she's making jokes at him, and all this kind of stuff. It's actually pretty good, right? So eventually, they come into a house, running away from the infected, and there's a body that is hanging from the rafters, right, in the living room of this abandoned house, and it's his partner, Bill's old partner, Frank. And when he says partner, he means
gay,
right? His partner,
not to be confused,
right? Not just his business partner. You don't have a business partner.
It was business,
right?
Down under business,
right? Exactly, but business. But anyway, so. There's a little moment you could see that Bill's kind of shocked by this, but he's, kind of this grizzled, curmudgeon.
Seasoned.
Right? He kind of hates the world.
Gay survivor.
So that was accurate in episode 3. And then there's a letter that Frank leaves, and he basically tells Frank, I couldn't handle your shit no more, or tells Bill, I couldn't handle your shit no more. I'd rather be out on my own, fuck you and all this kind of stuff, and just like really shitting all over him. And I guess he ended up getting bit at some point or getting infected by the spores, and he decided to hang himself before he turned.
That was thoughtful.
And so he left a letter for Bill in case he come across it as one last fuck you, right? So apparently they were together, and he just couldn't handle Bill's shit no more because Bill kind of hates people, and he's a curmudgeon, and he's probably and you could tell he's very particular about people touching stuff and how things are. It's his way or the highway type person. And so Frank has enough of it, kills himself after he gets bit. And then Bill has this interaction where he sees the letter, and then he's just kind of, well, fuck you too, Frank. And he crumples it up and throws it away. So it's like it's actually a tragic story. You have these two guys that are in the apocalypse, essentially. They are together. They're partners. They're lovers, whatever. And one hates people so much and is so set in his ways and can't open up that it drives the other one away that eventually leads to his death.
So he literally gives up on the only really form of attachment he had.
Right. And so that right there is the reason why that is important in the game, is because that is exactly who Joel is currently. Yeah. Is that Joel is Bill, but Bill is just just ahead of Joel at the moment, right? To where what the story writers for the game are trying to show you is that if Joel doesn't open up to Ellie specifically,
correct,
then he's going to become Bill.
Yeah, that makes sense. If it was done just
he's going to push everybody away, and people are going to get hurt.
You're foreshadowing.
Yes, exactly. It's good. It's showing Joel his future is what it's doing. Right?
I like that.
In episode 3 of the show, none of that happened.
Nope.
So you didn't get the banter between Ellie and Bill because they never met. You didn't get the tragic end of Frank to show what Bill has become. You didn't have that. And then you didn't have where Joel was kind of pushed up against that tragedy to maybe have some introspection. That didn't happen. So in episode 3, it was basically a 20-year time jumped around, but 20 years worth of a gay romance.
Well, so not knowing what's coming, because I have not played the game. So I'm first watching. You guys kind of warned me a little bit, but you didn't say anything. You were just like, just wait. I'm like, all right. Like, coming into it, seeing Nick Offerman play the character, I was like, cool, it's casted well, and I already liked the show. Like, it's great. I'm in. So, like, it was really cool seeing a perspective of, like, a prepper in our world. Like, really being ready for it.
That was really cool.
It wasn't like some run-of-the-muck prepper, like, just grabbed a couple food bags or whatever. Like, he really had it set up. It was awesome.
Set up traps. He had an electrified fence,
and you could tell
an automatic gate.
And the way he portrayed how excited he was, everybody was gone. He was like, all right. Like, then they did the 4 years of him doing that. It made sense. Like, everything he did made total sense and was great. And then, dude, he's got a trap. It comes along, and there's a man in a hole, which I'm like, which I was cool with this. I'm like, okay, I can bite that. That there's somebody wandering.
Another hole.
Yeah, of course. Even bigger. So he comes up and he was like, hey, man, you got a weapon? Like, everything was made sense.
Right.
So he tells the guy, like, hey, and the only thing I thought was weird is the dude didn't have anything with him. He's like, I was with a group and they left me or whatever. What do you say? They were attacked.
They left the Baltimore QZ and
that's it. He has nothing.
He's the only one left.
Okay, so he tests him. He has military tester to see if he's infected.
Right.
Which we should have known it was Gator.
Right.
Hooks it up. If it's red, you're staying. If it's green, you're gay. You're with me.
Green is gay.
Green is gay. You're with me. So he gets him out, and I'm like, okay, he's gonna help the dude out. I still wasn't unaware. I was unaware of who this character was. I didn't sense anything strictly harmless. Like, hey, I'll feed you, and he's like, basically, you got to fuck out after you eat. You're out of here. And then it got just weird. Like the piano thing started singing, and then you find out he's gay, which I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the piano singing thing. As soon as that happened, I was just like,
the whole I don't know if that's how they met in the game, but the whole you're a gay dude out in this whole thing. You didn't turn gay being in this only around tons of men and whatever, whatever, form an attachment, whatever. Another gay guy happens to stumble into your hole in your neighborhood, and you guys all of a sudden in 4 hours are attracted to one another, and then the whole shower towel thing, it just felt forced, and everybody's like, hats off to Nick Offerman's character, and it was beautiful. I'm like, anyone could have played that role.
Well, it
just didn't make any sense, and then
it just went on and on.
It lasted so long.
We get the point. They've created a lot together for 20 years. We get it.
But you could have shown, and I'm not saying this because I'm not into dudes, but that scene, even male, female, I don't have to see them do it. I can assume what's going down.
Right.
I don't have to see them lay on top of each other and then him take his towel off and the whole. It didn't feel right for the story. It just was weird.
Well,
it felt forced.
Someone brought up this point. I made this point too when I commented on some posts about it. But that whole scene where it did time jump from 4 years to 10 years or 20 years or whatever. So you basically watch these guys go through the past 20 years together in the apocalypse. Two gay guys in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Right. It was. And then by the end, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't care. They don't say it, but Frank has cancer of some kind, and it's riddled him, and so he's they don't have whatever kind of cancer he has. I guess it's incurable. I don't know what, maybe bone cancer. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, he's wheelchair bound.
The wheelchair bound. Someone said maybe it was MS or something. I can't remember, but whatever.
Could have been.
Maybe it was Lyme's disease. Who knows? Lupus. Who knows? I don't know what it could have been. But they said something about even if it was, not during the apocalypse, that they didn't really have a cure for it. So it's something that's incurable, right? So he's going to die. And so he's basically living through this pain, barely getting by. And he decides, I've had enough. I've lived with you for 20 years. I've lived a good enough life. I'm done. And so he's going to euthanize himself. And so he asked Bill to assist him in this endeavor, give him one last good day. And so they do this whole little montage of them having a good day. And then, he crushes up a bunch of, the medication that he was taking, painkillers, I'm assuming, and into a glass of wine. He drinks it. And he's going to, just go to sleep and pass away. Well, he doesn't tell Frank, but Bill does it too. As he puts a bunch of it in the bottle without Frank's knowledge, and they're basically going to euthanize each other, and they're going to die together, his arms together, and all this kind of stuff.
Very Romeo and Juliet.
Right, which, of course, Bill did not die in the game. He was alive. Frank did die. We already knew that, but we never met Frank in the game, so that was a departure. But then someone brought up this point. That whole, say, whatever it was, 45 minutes worth of that content was completely pointless. It didn't serve the story.
No.
It had no meaning, because the thing is what Bill was supposed to, his role in the story was to show Joel what he could become.
Yes.
If he didn't open up.
Yeah.
That's and that never happened.
Nope.
Right? Instead, you had this little side story of these two guys, and it didn't serve the plot. And someone made it this point as well. That's even if you say that, even if you take that away, that it didn't service the plot, it was pointless. There are also no stakes. Nobody in the apocalypse gives a flying fuck about two dudes, because at that point, civilization has collapsed. I'm sorry, it may upset people's modern sensibilities these days, but at that point, procreation is paramount. And two gay dudes is not going to get that done.
You know what happened. That group threw him out because he was gay.
Right, that's right. I joked about that. But you mean there's no stakes?
There's really not. And not only that, their little thing, I'm like, it's 20 years they were there, and they only ran into, that we showed, was one group of marauders.
Right.
After that, I'm like, This is kind of like nothing's going on. Like, I just don't feel like there's any real threat here. And it doesn't, I feel like in every other show, what happens is you've already got a bad taste in your mouth from other shows that do this. They pull in common culture, what's around you, what's happening, and try to sprinkle on their show. They're like, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. And they just shove it in. I was like, this doesn't. You had such a good thing going.
Correct. I'm sorry, but in the apocalypse, if you're telling a story about the apocalypse, now if you want to tell a story about love conquering or whatever during these troubling times or whatever, you could do that. But in a zombie movie is about two things. It's about survival, people trying to survive,
repopulating,
and then repopulating the planet to try to build the civilization that you had lost. Right? Those are the two things about zombies.
It's drinking
about
wine.
Zombie shows or movies.
It's
right?
drinking wine.
And so, you could make a case that them trying to survive is one thing, but here's an example: A Quiet Place. Right? Similar situation, apocalypse. There's very few people left. The main theme, the whole thing about that movie was, is it right? Should you have a baby in this situation?
Yeah.
And or do you just slowly fade away into nothingness? Survive as long as you can, but then do you have the right to bring a child into this environment?
Yeah.
Right? Because your options is if you don't, then you just fade away and civilization just dies off and the human race is gone. Right? And they win. Or you actually bring a child into this fucking hell with the chance that you keep going. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't get that with two gay dudes.
Yeah, well.
Right?
I don't know. The whole thing was weird to me.
So the whole point of a zombie movie, a zombie show, is completely with that interaction.
I don't know. It just immediately made me like, I didn't want to watch it anymore. I finished it, but I was like, I don't.
Actually fast forward through.
I was like, I just don't want to see it anymore. I'm like, this is just,
it became too much. When they were in the fucking strawberry things and Nick Offerman's character, Bill, he giggled after I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, it's.
And somebody said it when we were talking about it, and I agreed. I thought the same exact thing. I think everybody who's like us had the same thought. It was like, well, people that played the games was like, well, at least there'll be, I knew that Frank was at least going to die at the end. I didn't know Bill was going to as well, but I knew we wouldn't see Bill again. So I was like, well, at least just get it out of your system. We won't see him again. They're both going to die, or Frank's going to die, and then Bill go back to being whatever he's going to be. And then we're done with it. So get it out of your system, HBO. Thank God. Can we move on with the actual story?
Back to the
one
show
that we care about.
Yes.
The whole she's immune. Where he's Joel trying to get this girl that's a taking place of his lost daughter, trying to get her across the country. Like, Can we get back to that story? Because that's the point.
Yep.
Whatever. And here's my thing about it. It's like, take all that away. Everybody's acting like this is like the greatest episode of television.
Well, you know
ever.
why?
And it just wasn't.
You know why?
It's because it was two gay dudes.
Two gay dudes. That's it. It's the only reason.
I swear to God, if you had the same exact story, but it was male, female, they would not be getting the same reaction.
Everyone knows that. It's not, if you deny it, you're stupid. That plain and simple. That's why it's popular. That's why it did so well. Sorry.
And
then I knew as soon as that episode came out, all the Hollywood team like, it's an incredible portrayal. Nice job, Nick Offer. I'm like, okay.
Right.
No, it's weird.
I mean, it's not because it's not because
I'm not saying there's not gay people in the apocalypse.
Right.
It's just
not saying that. It's the fact that the story had no point to the plot.
No, it's
and it
bad
had no
writing.
stakes. It had no stakes. I would say the exact same thing besides the no stakes part. I would say as far as it didn't have any point to the plot, I'd say the exact same thing if you had a random story about a guy and a girl couple that Joel and Tess had met one point before, and we watched 20 years of their life together, and by the end they die, and one of the main characters never fucking meets them.
It felt like
it'd be like, what the hell was that?
It felt like a spin-off series.
Right.
In the same universe. Like Life with Bill and Frank. I'm like, okay. I don't know. I didn't care for it. And I like Bill. I like Nick Offerman.
It was weird. And this show, the thing is that it was well made. It was well acted. Dialogue was good.
There was some sadness to it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a complete cynic. Like I'm not made of stone, but like it sucks. If it was a chick and a dude, it still sucks. It's horrible. Like it's lonely. That's, I mean, they both killed themselves. Like,
yeah, it was sad.
I don't want to live without you. Like that. I'm all full. I'm okay with that. That's not bad, and that whole sense of things. But the rest of it was just weird and off-putting and didn't make any sense. It wasn't entertaining. That's what shows are supposed to do, is entertain me, and it wasn't entertaining.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know.
I still like the show. I'm going to keep going. It's not. It's early. I'm not going to now. If
it's a bump in the road.
If it stays like this, then I'll finish the season.
Well, I remember I told you this before, but that's not the only.
I know.
Gay thing going. I mean, Ellie is clearly
that's
lesbian. Fine. And so there's going to be more of that, and I've already seen I've seen flashes in the trailers for the show of the girl, so I know it's going to happen. And then if they keep going with part 2, because they only made a sequel for the game, part 2 is uber kind of feminist and
like the video game.
Yeah, it's very uber feminist, and also you end up playing one of these characters. You play, actually the only 2 characters you play are both female, which is fine. I don't care about that. I mean, I play Tomb Raider, and Tomb Raider is awesome.
You play Horizon.
But, right. But one of them you end up playing is very Bush. Like, she's got guns. You know what I mean? She's, like, sculpted. She's got, like, biceps.
It's like Sarah Connor.
Yes, but bigger. And she's very broad, and it's really it's just when you're playing the game, you first come across that character, and then you play her, you're just like, she just looks odd. And there's also a sex scene in it where it just looks like 2 dudes tumbling around, but one of them is a girl. It's weird.
Okay.
And the showrunner, the game maker, the dude that wrote the story, he's also co-writing or whatever the show. He's a uber lefty, so
that makes sense.
The game is really good. It's well made, but just some of the elements that he put into the story are going to be super leftist. So I already knew that going in. So I knew there was going to be some of this.
I didn't know that.
I knew there was going to be some of this, but it's not like it's essential, primary to it. But part 2 was definitely not as good as part 1. Part 2, like I said, and I'm not going to spoil it for people who are invested in the show and have not played the games, but things that happen in part 2, the fan base were really not happy about. So, and I'll just leave it at that. So if they continue on with that, I feel like this show, as good as it has been, and as excited as I was it was coming out, since they've shown their hand with this episode, now I know where their mindset is. When part 2 comes around, and it's so much more feminist and I don't know, weird and lefty than the first game was, that I feel like that this show is gonna get, it has the potential to get real fucking cringy. You know that makes sense.
I know.
Where you're just like, oh my God, can we fucking stop? You know what I mean?
I'm used to it.
I don't know. It's just very disappointing.
Just watch Teen Wolf. I'm on season.
Just go back and watch.
I'm on season 4.
Do like that dude on that podcast and just go back and watch all the good shit.
I'm on Teen Wolf right now. I dig it.
Yeah, I don't know. There's one girl on there that's super hot.
Which one, Lydia or Allison?
I don't know their name.
Redheaded or brunette?
Blonde. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
There's a couple of. They're all attractive people.
Yeah,
like, they're not going to put
CW,
ugly people on there. Yeah, it's MTV.
Is it MTV?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's MTV Studios, but it's on CW, isn't it?
No, it's MTV. It was on MTV the whole time.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, and then Paramount.
But it's very CW-like.
Yeah, actually not as... Yeah, like if you're interested in it... I don't know if I talked about it last episode when I started watching Teen Wolf. I don't think so.
Maybe.
Because I'll power through series. Like, I will.
Right.
So, it's good. I started the movie as well. They just came out with one. And the casting is killer. Like, it's got the dude who plays Superman, the girl with the perfect 5 o'clock shadow. I don't know how he gets it like that. It's perfect.
Genetics.
It's absolutely perfect. It almost looks like it's stippled, like it's fake. So hats off to you. Yeah, it's good. But yeah, that's how I'm going back to watch old stuff too, man. Because like it's so hit and miss. Like I don't know.
I'm still getting through Sopranos.
Are you?
I just finished season 3. It definitely picked up. It's gotten better, but it's still, like I said, my critique still holds. There's not an overarching theme to each season. It's all just kind of a collection of random episodes.
Yeah.
They do kind of string together.
Almost like one-offs.
But each episode, it almost feels like almost like a sitcom, kind of like each episode is its own thing, but they kind of tie together. It's weird. It's different. I think it's just dated. Like I said, like it was great for its time, but it was kind of dated. I don't know. And they keep dropping in like new characters, and they act like we're supposed to know who the fuck they are. But there's so many people that pop in each season. There's like more people that pop in, and you just kind of the characters act, or the show acts like you're supposed to know who these people are. Like they've been here the whole time, and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is. I don't even know his name. It's weird. It's a weird show.
Okay.
But it's supposed to be one of the best shows of all time, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like,
X-Files is one of the best shows of all time.
Tony Soprano, the main character, played by James Gandolfini, R.I.P., is fantastic, right? He's great. And he plays a great mob boss. And
I've seen clips. I've watched a lot of clips. He does it good.
It's great. And I like the whole...
He's scary.
I like the whole Italian culture that's going on and everything like that. A lot of nudity, a lot of fucking, which is awesome. A lot of these actors and actresses that I've seen in other stuff, but seen them in Sopranos, they're super young.
So you've seen them
in 2000, right?
Yeah.
The show premiered in 99. So it's kind of weird. I'm like, oh shit, I know who that is. She's really fucking young. But so that's interesting. That's fun to watch. But I don't know.
I love going throwbacks. I watched.
It's not one of the greatest shows ever.
I don't know if I talked about it on the show. I went back and watched all the Lethal Weapon movies. I think I talked about that before. I'm trying to go back and talk about the same shit.
Yeah.
But I went back and watched all those.
Well, we still need to. I did look at some, but of Rick Moranis movies.
Yeah,
still need to
you've seen a lot of them.
I've seen a lot of them,
and I've seen almost all of.
I'm gonna try to watch some stuff that I haven't seen of his.
William Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Willem. It's actually Willem. I didn't know that. I tried spelling it out one day, and I was like, why the fuck is it not William? It's Willem. But I went back and actually looked at his filmography. I think there's only like 3 or 4 movies I've never seen. I've seen all of his stuff.
I know one of his, that's one of his more popular ones that I've never seen. I think it was the Last Temptation of Christ, I think, something like that. What was it? It's when he played Jesus.
Yeah. There's, he was in the Spider-Man one. It's Green Goblin.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then he was in
Platoon.
Yep, I've seen that.
Roles.
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints. Here's one that I haven't seen. This is one of his latest. Is The Lighthouse. It's got Robert Pattinson in it. That got nominated for an Academy. I haven't seen that. It's supposed to be crazy. It just looks. It's on black and white. It just looks
very indie.
Oh, I forgot he was in American Psycho. He was the cop.
Yeah.
Platoon was one of his earliest ones.
Didn't he get his ass all shot up?
Yeah, he has that famous scene where he's like running through the jungle and he's getting all shut up, and he has that scene where he gets shot in the back and he like falls over as the helicopter flies over.
That's right.
He ends up getting betrayed by one of the other platoon leaders.
That's right. And
he ends up shooting him and leaving him in the jungle, but he survives and tries to get out, and they end up getting shot. It's a whole dramatic thing.
Okay.
That's a good. It's a long ass fucking movie, but it's a good movie. Yeah, so you should watch that one if you haven't seen that in a while. Platoon's good.
I told my parents today that I think we should do an episode on the chronicles of being a adolescent young man. All the embarrassing things from like age 13 up in chronology. Just go through like some of our most embarrassing moments.
Well, my embarrassing moments didn't start at 13. I definitely have some ones younger.
Oh, well, yeah, but like I'm just saying like I have some that really stand out. Like the first time I ever had a girl rub suntan lotion on me at the pool.
Right.
Yeah, that was...
You got a boner, didn't you?
Immediately triggered. And I was for some reason, my mom thought it was cool to buy yellow swim trunks with the fucking fishnets in them.
Look like a fucking banana.
Yeah, well, like, or a baby banana. Yeah, I'm sitting there and this is happening. I'm like, now this is the first time I've like interacted like at the pool. Like, your mom drops you off, like you're hanging out with your girl, whatever. Yeah, dude. It was super awkward. Then I got another one in the pool.
She touched my leg.
First time I saw like a girl in a swimsuit, like actually like grazed your shoulder. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
And they blow the whistle for everybody to get out of the pool and you can't. Yeah, that was awesome.
Hell yeah. You have to do you have to kind of like.
You have to smash it.
Kind of like.
Yeah, you got to smash it either up or down. You have to commit either way. But the problem is when you get out of a pool,
you can't stand up
everything sucks in to your leg, like
you
the pool.
You immediately have to pull the bottom of the leg.
You have to
get the air.
Yep.
In
so
there.
I was. Yep.
Fuck, I still do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't remember last time somebody put sun lotion on me, but
I don't like pop chubs in the pool. But, I mean, whenever I'm getting out the suction, I was like,
oh yeah, immediately.
You're in a cold pool. Like, I don't want to see, nobody wants to see the outline of my baby carrot, so I got to pull.
Oh yeah, dude,
got to pull it out. So
it looks like a witch's nose.
I got to keep the mystery alive.
Yeah, it looks like Nope. It looks terrible. It's like an ugly face.
Right.
People are grabbing their kids. Holy shit!
It's like
what?
Somebody shrink wrapped a baby carrot.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
Baby banana pepper. Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself, like I am, actually. Yeah, thanks, bitch.
Vacuum sealed a baby carrot.
Yeah, it looks like those those little saver bags. You vacuum them,
right? That's exactly
we have some of those at the house. Right. They actually do work really well. It's weird. It makes everything like potato chips.
Right. Yeah. Little baby carrot, some red potatoes in his pants.
I like that video I sent you guys.
All balls.
Did you send that video with that thing in the dress playing like, what were they playing?
They were like some sort of, it was like DDR but drums.
I think I sent y'all that.
Yeah, I think it was.
Dude, I was like,
well, you see that one looked like Trans Wednesday. Do you see that shit?
He was like in a muumuu.
Yeah,
I almost
felt
bad.
Looked like a pale, like blonde haired, like Trans Wednesday.
It's like he lost a bet. Yeah,
like sitting there just
because tonight
will
be the night that I
look at that thing.
Like the one in front, I first noticed. Then in the back, I'm like, oh shit! I didn't notice the one in the back.
It looks like, is it Tiffany from Bob's Burgers? But like gross,
right?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's, they need to be bullied. It's not sufficient enough bullying. That's what happens whenever you live online too long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? When you don't actually interact with human beings out in the world and it's all just behind a keyboard, that's what you turn into. You turn into some sort of weird, furry trans bitch. It's just, I can't.
Yeah.
Can't handle it.
So
they have to know they look fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean?
They don't.
They have to know.
I don't know. I feel like no one owns a mirror.
Like, how do you not? How do you think you're able to go through life looking like that? Like, even the weirdest people that are successful don't look like that.
Oh, I know. I don't know.
You have to play the game. You have to everyone has to wear the costume.
Well, so
of being a successful, normal, adjusted person in society, even if you don't fucking want to. Like, you think I get up in the morning and be like, I would really want to put these fucking slacks on? No,
of course
you
not.
have to wear it.
Yeah, I want to be in a t-shirt and jeans all the time.
Correct.
Like,
but
if you've met me, you've seen what I wear. That's me.
Right. It's like, I can't wait to get these khakis on. The khakis are the best.
A good polo.
I love khakis.
Well,
no. But that's what you have to do to participate in civilized society.
Well, it's like, I see that. What was it? Oh, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. It's like you said it best. This was like, I don't know, 6-7 months ago. It was when Matt Walsh went on to Dr. Phil. Mm-hmm. And he had like that panel of like bearded women and like whatever the things were.
They're all dudes.
It was all dudes. All dudes.
But pretending to be different
except
things.
The one was a woman wanted to be a dude.
She was the professor, and she was the woman.
She looked like the Quidditch teacher, the broom instructor from Harry Potter.
Correct, she did.
But not hot.
Yeah, she did.
She did. Madam Hooch.
Yeah.
So Madam Hooch and the shitty men. So they come in, and you were like, dude, just turn their mics off and take an average person on the street and be like, you have to pick a team who you would take serious, who you'd want to take advice from, walk in. Like, so you walk in, and there's a married couple, and there's Matt Walsh, bearded, average, middle-aged guy. To your left, you have a man with a beard with perfectly beautiful straight hair wearing heels and great makeup. His Latino lover in the center who's like overweight and looks terrible. And then you have Madam Hooch.
Right.
Who the fuck are you? What team are you sitting with?
If you put it on mute, you didn't hear anything that they said.
Who are you going to pick?
And you're just like, which one would you be like, pick which side is the more adjusted human being?
Yes.
Right,
and like this weekend,
it's an easy choice.
Yeah, like
he's clean cut. He's people can deceive or whatever.
You're like a circus.
You have like clean cut people who actually be serial killers, like Dahmer or whatever, right? Yeah. But
it's a circus
in general.
Yeah,
you're not going to go.
I'm not going with you.
You're not going to hang out with the freaks.
I don't want to hang out with. I'm sorry, you look a freak. I'm sorry.
So and that's what they are. It's someone's.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's just the truth. Like, yes, some people have an affliction to where they feel like they're they're trapped in their body, right? And they got to get out, whatever. Some people have that affliction, right? It's the same reason why, like, agoraphobia, where people, they can't go outside.
Diagnosed,
They feel like if they go outside, they're going to die. Like, that's an affliction,
Oh, fuck,
right?
that would
People
suck.
are agoraphobic, right? I think
Is that a real
I think
thing?
it's agoraphobia. Yeah, they have to stay inside. They can, if they go outside, they like freak out. And they can, like, you ever watched? You should watch Better Call Saul. Saul Goodman's brother in that is agoraphobic, and he can't leave the house because he thinks that he can feel the electricity in the air, and so he actually
It's 5G.
He actually turned off the power in his house.
Okay.
He, like, operates by candlelight. He like cooks by fire and all this kind of stuff because he can feel. He thinks the electricity. He
Okay.
can feel it and it burns him.
Okay,
Right.
cool.
So it's a mental affliction. It does not actually happening. He's not like Magneto and he's sensitive to it or whatever.
I understand.
So, but people are like that. So I think if someone can have a mental affliction that's that extreme, and that's a real thing, that people have that,
Yeah, no, I get it.
right?
I got you.
Which is obviously not fucking true. He can't sense the electricity. He doesn't feel it. And people who go outside are not going to die, but they feel like they're going to
Sure.
die. And they start having panic attacks and all that kind of stuff. That's a real affliction. This is an affliction too. They feel like they're trapped in their body. That's a real thing. It's not 20% of Gen Z that has this affliction, but that's the actual statistics. Is 20% of Gen Z do not identify as male or female. They're something other. Someone actually brought up this made a comment, and I'm going to start using this. If someone says that I'm cisgender, I'll be like, I don't identify as cis. I'm just male. I'm not a cis male. I'm male.
Yeah.
Don't assume. Don't try to put your labels on me.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Snap
Call
back.
me cis.
Snap back.
Right?
You're ready.
I'm male.
No cap.
I am a man. I'm not a cis man.
Okay.
Okay? That's a good point.
I like that.
It's like a few. I think it was last year, a couple years ago. Some guys came out with super straight as a sexual orientation, right? Because the whole thing
What fraternity did that?
Right, exactly. It was probably like 4chan or something. But the whole thing was, the devil of the day is the straight white male, right?
Well, of course.
Right. So, which straight is a sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that's not really part of the spectrum of sexual orientations or genders or whatever. It's different than gender, but so they don't get to play in the little oppression Olympics, right? Like everybody else. So if someone says, "Well, no, I'm not straight. I'm super straight," because the LGBT community came out and was saying, "Well, straight guys, if you're straight, then you like women, right?" Mm-hmm. Well, trans women are women. Mm-mm. So if you're straight and you don't like a trans woman because they are women, then you're actually just homophobic. You're not really straight, right? Because if you were straight, you would like women, also trans women, because trans women are women. That's the logic, right?
Sure.
And so somebody came out and was, "Well, I'm not just straight. I don't like women, right? I'm super straight." It's a new sexual orientation they came out with.
I like it.
Where I only like women with vaginas.
Okay. Well, what my whole thing is, if you're based everything off labels, right, and how you feel, if you're a woman anyways, why put the word trans in front of it? Why not just be called a woman?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're clearly saying that I'm transferred from
I understand.
one to another.
I understand the verbiage.
Exactly.
I'm saying though, but if you don't want to put labels on stuff, just call yourself a woman. Well, I'm not. I'm a trans woman. Okay, well then you're labeling it again. Doesn't make any sense.
I know. Well, this is the group of people on the left that used to talk about. They'll talk all day about stereotypical labels in society that they put upon women and all these all these kinds of things where pink is not just for girls and little girls can play with fire trucks too and all this kind of stuff and trying to break down all these stereotypes because they put these unfair labels on people and yet they have a whole fucking alphabet of different labels for who you think you are and who you like to fuck. It's crazy.
Why can't girls play with fire trucks?
I don't know. I didn't know that was some sort of unwritten rule to where girls couldn't play with fire trucks.
Doesn't make any sense.
Apparently, according to them, that was a rule, but now it's no longer a rule. I'm like, when is that a rule?
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
That's exactly right. They make this shit up.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, and it's an unpopular opinion, I'm sure to some, but like, I stand by, if for example, if my daughter was like, "Hey, I want to be the Red Ranger for Halloween," I'm like, "Well, you're not.
Right.
You're not. Sorry, you can't." Well, why not? Because you're not. That's a dude. Sorry, I don't care what anybody said. And if you have an opinion about it, you don't have any kids, then fuck you.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry if you disagree. If you don't, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you're not doing it.
Yeah, this whole movement. I'm not a parent. I don't have kids, but I observe.
Yeah, but you're
I have
an idiot.
eyeballs and
You're
I have
an
a brain,
idiot,
right? And I observe.
You have nieces and
I have
nephews and
nieces
stuff,
nephews.
so you, yeah.
I've got friends that have kids, and like I said, I can see what's going on, and I've never been in their shoes. Like I said, I'm not a parent, but I can see this whole thing happening to where everything that your kid says, you're apparently supposed to just go along with and affirm.
It's so dumb.
And every fucking thought that pops in their head, every feeling, you're supposed to just roll with it.
Have you ever heard
like,
a 5 or 6 year old talk?
Right.
They say the most off the wall shit.
Right.
That makes no sense.
Correct. And everyone knows this. This is so obvious. I've seen it a million times. Like I said, I got nieces and nephews. I got friends with kids. They post stuff on their Instagram. They say wild shit all the time that make no sense. They literally will just jabber to themselves in another fucking language when they're younger.
Yeah.
You don't even know what the hell they're saying. They don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're just mouthing words. And so, they're just little human beings that run on pure emotion. Well, I mean, we don't, if that was an adult, that would be a crazy person.
Yeah. They're basically like, their highs and lows are.
Right.
But like you said,
You're supposed to
if you do
mold
fire
them and
trucks
shape
and
them.
like, my daughter's never come up and wanted to be a male character or generally a boy. Like it doesn't get brought up. She doesn't gravitate towards it. Like, but if she had a fire truck, I don't give a shit.
Right.
Like her elected Uncle Garrett drives a fire truck. So like, if she has a fire truck, cool. There's female firemen. Like, I'm not going to be that extreme about it, but I'm not going to do the whole like, well, yeah, if you want to be, a Ninja Turtle.
Well,
sure.
her liking fire trucks doesn't confuse the gender issue.
No.
That's fine. But whenever you get to the point to where, like I said, the Red Ranger is a good example of that, where she's dressing up like dude characters all the time. You'd be like, no, you can't dress up as a dude. You're a girl.
Sorry, you're not.
You have to dress as girl characters. Yeah. You can't go around, in a beard and all that. Like, we do that kind of stuff sometimes when we're kids. Like I've done that before.
I wore my sister's Barbie clothes playing around
as a joke, but it's not serious.
I didn't want to wear it for the next dinner outing.
You're doing it as a joke. You're not doing it seriously, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And everybody knows this. And here's my point about raising kids is if you just affirm everything that they say and you just every feeling that they have you just roll with and go with and you don't, then you just have a little roommate that you have to feed. You're not actually raising a child. You're not actually molding a human being to be a functional member of society.
Correct.
Right? And perpetuate your values and your legacy. You just have a little roommate.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you've had roommates before, you don't go around, trying to tell them how to live, right?
Right.
That's what you do with a roommate.
You tell them they suck.
Be like, hey, where's the rent?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Did you eat the last Pop-Tart? Those are things that right? Yeah. But when you have a kid, you have to actually mold them because they don't know anything.
They don't know anything. Yeah.
So
They're dumb.
I find it odd. Even if you take the gender thing out of it, if you take the whole trans stuff out of it, just the trend that's going on to where everything that a kid says, you have to just say that's valid. Let's go with that. What? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, you don't. What's nice is I don't see anything like that when because basically anytime you go out now you see something crazy. Like we went to brunch this weekend and I saw a host that I thought was a woman with a mullet until they turned around and they had a mustache and started speaking and it was a little man. Like I didn't know that. It really caught me off guard. Fuck me. I was just like,
was it a little person?
No, just a short guy. It wasn't like a midget. And I was just like, but then I looked at the entire ensemble and I was like, you literally got dressed and were like, I look great. I look good. I'm going to work like this. And you left the house. Yeah. And I was embarrassed for them.
It's like that. What was that dude we used to work with? He showed up in sweatpants and slides.
Oh boy, yeah. He fell asleep.
He fell asleep in the corner in the meeting with a fucking CEO.
He had
there.
9 kids. He was like 40 years old. I didn't know. He looked like he was 10.
Bro,
some fountain of youth.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I mean, that's just it was one of you're never going to be.
I found something else new today, since we're talking about culture and people in general. we went to Turkey Bay today and rode. And we get there, and the Razors, the side-by-sides are kind of taking over the world right now. Like, it's a big thing. Like, $60,000, $70,000 worth of equipment. It's, I call it rednecks with money. I'm all about it. It's cool. Do you? Well, we're parking. Yeah, we're parking, and there's a group of them that come around, and this is like blue-collar looking guys, like, big, burly dudes, like just good old boys, or, redneck-looking guys. All super nice dudes, but, like, they get these boots and the vest and the car and stuff and the cowboy hats or whatever, and the big trucks, and, like, everyone plays hard rap music.
Yeah.
I'm shit you not. This was today.
Yeah.
They pull up where we were parked after doing a pretty stout little run, and they show up. There's 3 of them, and these are nice. It's good stuff. Guy gets out, and it's like hard ass rap, like, and he's got like a Milwaukee's beat. It's like trap music, in boots and blue jeans, and it's just hard. I'm like, do y'all listen to this shit normally, or is this to come out here like it's a weird like thing?
Probably listen to it normally.
All of them.
I grew up with guys like that.
Like, dude, we listen to 70s and 80s. Like, when we're jiving through, we don't listen to music when we're in the woods. Obviously, it's too loud. But I'm just like, fuck, man. He said you go one this side, it's puppy play and this, and you get over here and it's rednecks with attitude.
Well, see, something maybe tells me that I've said this before, but I don't. The guys in high school that the black dudes in high school, they would sag, and they would wear like. Did
you try to sag before?
Yeah, I mean, I had my face.
You tried the sagging? I never sagged. I did the loosen the shoes up with the chrome tip laces.
I did that. The sagging and like tall tees, that whole kind of. I did that for a short bit, and then I was like, I can't handle this. But anyway, you remember, like they would sag and they would do that whole thing. Yeah. We're talking about fucking Suburbanville, Tennessee, right?
Like my neighbors,
acting like gangsters, and they're not. And one of the things they would always wear, they wear like Skittles or M&Ms.
Yeah, the jackets. Yeah,
what the fuck is
NASCAR jackets,
or like NASCAR jackets? Like, yes. And I was like, what the hell is this? It makes no sense. And then I would hang out with the country boys, and they would be listening to like Nelly or whatever, 3-6 Mafia or something like that. And I'm like, it was a weird mix. I think that is becoming more out in the open.
I think we're looping back.
Well, I think it's becoming more out in the open now because I'm seeing a lot of crossover just on social media. I mean, when Lil Nas X did that whole country road, what the fuck was it?
That was called, you're talking about
that cowboy song. Fuck, I can't think of it. It's viral as shit.
Oh, you got horses in the back,
right? Yeah, horses in the back.
Horses in the back.
That's it. Whatever the fuck that song is. You know what I mean?
Let me look it up. I have internet access. I don't know why we're like guessing back and forth, playing word vomit. Hold on.
You know what I mean? So he's
the one like twerked on the devil,
right? So that kind of made it trendy. Like everybody just kind of like listened to whatever they listened to.
Old Town Road. Him and with old Miley Cyrus's dad.
Right. But like everybody listened to hip hop and
yeah.
Because that was the predominant. Was the predominant culture.
Yeah.
And then predominant music in our culture. It was everywhere. It was in our face. It was on movies.
Little John came out in the 2000s.
Right. All that, right? It was in the clubs. So if you went out to the bars or the clubs, you're going to get so you couldn't avoid it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, you could have like in the black community, in that whole, you have the rednecks, and then you got the gangster types or whatever. Sure. I don't know. Can't think of a better term, but the
thugs,
faux gangster, thugs, whatever, faux gangsters.
I got you.
Whatever. I didn't get the sense that they were listening to a lot of country music. You know what I'm saying?
But we don't know if they were.
But maybe they were. But see, now it's like I feel like it's like out in the open. Yeah. Because I'll see people that are like hip hop artists straight up knows the lyrics to like country songs.
I'll be honest with you.
Like Waylon Jennings. Yeah. You're like, what the fuck?
I've recently been growing up, like in high school and stuff, which I bring up high school because I asked today my dad. I was like, do high schools do a 15-year reunion?
No, you just.
He said they did a 15.
They did a 15?
Yeah, he said they did a 15, which I wish. I don't know if this year would be my 15. I'm pretty sure.
And mine passed me by already.
Yeah, well, I'm not as old as you, but like I was telling myself, damn, because our 10 year was so much fun.
Jackass.
So I was thinking, I told myself I've been going back and listening to 2000s country. Because I didn't like country. I always thought country was stupid as shit.
Me too.
However, when I met my wife, I was like, she listened to country, and I started listening. I'm like, this sings about all the things that I like. It's like hanging with the boys, mudding, trucks, and like someone was talking about tattoos and women. And I'm like, fuck, this is great. This is my culture. This is me. So I started listening to it and I was like, I'm down for this. This is cool. Now I'm going back and listening to all that stuff, but But yeah, I have friends that are like hardcore into rock and all of a sudden they'll put on old school country. I'm like, did you pick this? Like, yeah, this is good stuff.
Yeah, see, when I listen to music, depends on the song. But if I listen to a song enough, then I will. But I'm not a lyric listener. I'm a melody listener.
I've known you.
I appreciate the melody.
Yeah.
But the lyrics don't. I don't. Yeah. That's not what I gravitate toward first.
I met you in 2009, and I've never ever heard you say, "Hey, did you check out this song? It's one of my favorites." I've never you will heard you say that.
You will never hear that
ever. Like and I've had everyone else has done that to me. And I'm like, that's the one person I know that has never been like, dude, check out this song. It's hot.
But I will be. Check out this movie. Check out this show.
Oh, everything
you see
else.
That scene?
Or snacks or food,
whatever,
anything else. Favorite porn,
God,
whatever.
Damn, I sound like a fat couch potato jerking off.
Who jerks off all the time? Perfect. Hello, Gen Z. Well, like, yeah, so like, I know all that. Or like favorite places to shit in town.
Yeah, right.
Like, anything else except for this is my favorite song. This is the new hotness.
Nope, never
heard it.
I could never relate when I'd see that in movies where someone would make, like back in the 80s, in those 80s movies, they make the mixtapes, right? And then they would share playlists, and you'd see like the teen couple, and they'd be sitting on the couch together, and they would share earbuds.
Let me ask you this.
Shit. I just couldn't. I did not compute for me.
All right, let me ask you this: did you and your high school sweetheart, or whoever, someone you were like in love with, quotation, whatever, did you have a song? Did y'all have a song? Like one that would make you think about them. Like, since you're not a music guy, that's why I'm asking. Like, did you have a song?
Well, I do remember
or somebody that reminded you of a crush.
Well, I do remember she got me into, and because she was really into it. It was like one of her favorite bands. It was Journey.
Oh, fuck, it's a great band. I had my first kiss of my wife to a Journey song.
It was something else too.
So I know its power that it has on people.
There was another one. I can't. It's not coming to mind. But I remember Journey being very kind of played a lot.
Okay.
So I got into that, I suppose.
Okay. So there's not one particular song you're saying. It's just kind of that.
No.
Okay.
Didn't have like a song.
Cool.
I mean, maybe we did, and if you asked her, she probably would.
We're gonna have
rattle
off
one.
This year.
But me being not a music person, there's not something that comes to mind, because if there was a song, it didn't register.
So you'd be more like
banks.
what y'all ate that night, or what you smelled. Like that's what would trigger it.
Yeah,
instead of the music.
Exactly.
Got it.
Right. Or if like woman brushed my leg and be like, "Oh, it's all coming back.
It's all coming back." What was playing? It's Journey. But actually, it wasn't Lenny Kravitz.
Right, exactly.
You're totally off. I like it.
Right. It was Country Grammar by Nelly.
Oh, nice. Or Culture Club.
Right.
It's come a chameleon.
I have no idea what it was. But, it didn't have a song. Also, we weren't married, so I don't feel like you can claim you had a song unless you get married.
You can have a song. Couples, growing up, you can have a song. Like something you put on, like when you're, first getting all that intimacy bullshit or whatever when you first.
Oh, you're talking about a sex track.
Not a sex track. A song that just takes you back to that. Like, y'all don't have a song?
No.
Fuck, man.
I mean, as I said, if we did, I don't fucking remember.
I guess I'm a freak. I'm so fucked up. It's all starting to come back now.
Like, you have a song
emotional
where
guy.
you do your first dance with your wife. Like, that's your song.
Oh, yeah, we have a song. Yeah. Like, like I have a song my wife walked out to.
Like, it's a song that you like, and then that's one you pick for that dance, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. Which, by the way,
but so I guess in that sense, what you're saying is you and Kylie had a song before you were married, but the song that you played.
No, that's wrong. Okay. We never had a song. We like similar bands when we met. We didn't have a song until later.
But
on.
like I've seen in the movies where like they'll.
Like, have you ever seen? Have you seen
the guy will pick the song?
Have you ever seen Out Cold?
And she'll be like, "Oh, this is our song."
Like, have you ever seen Out Cold?
Yeah.
Okay, well, him and that girl have a song, the Weezer song.
I get what you're talking about,
Because he was like, "Who the fuck put that on?" Like, you don't play that song.
I got you.
It's kind of like that.
It's because
because
that was on spring break. It was playing constantly while he was making out with her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do you like a make out song?
Right.
No, which by the way, finding songs for your wedding stuff sucks. It's really difficult.
I'm definitely contracting that.
It is super. I'll help you.
I'll just have somebody else. I'll have somebody else.
Once I become an R&B singer, when I try it out, I'll sing at your wedding.
You just exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. It was also an old school, the Dan Band, right?
That's them.
School.
Yeah.
When he's like, I fucking need you more than ever. And he's like, there's like dancing.
Need you more tonight.
Because he keeps adding the F word in there. And everybody's kind of like, wait,
but the whole
they do it, but it sounds awesome. I prefer it better.
I actually
that way.
have that album that they do a bunch of songs that they dub like that. It's great.
I prefer the song that way
because he's in Old School. He's not in Wedding Crashers, but he's in The Hangover.
Yep.
And he says "flying high tonight," and he actually pretends like he's got a joint in his hand and jumps off the fountain. Yeah, he's in The Hangover 1, I think, and 2, because Stu's father-in-law hears them singing. He's like, and looks over. But yeah, they're legit.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
He slips in a few curse words here and don't fit, and you're just like, but it fits.
The older ladies were like, what? Looks over. Yeah, it's good stuff. That's good shit. Yeah, trying to find music for your wedding is stout. It's funny, we're talking about weddings and stuff. I told a friend of mine was messaging me on Instagram, and he was talking about he got a girl's number at the gym. I won't say his name or anything, but he was like, yeah, she's younger and fucking crazy. And he said, you don't have to deal with this shit. He said, but we're out here fighting for our lives. Like, because he's our age too. So like trying to find somebody. I was like, I told Kylie, I was joking.
I've been hiding in a foxhole for years.
I told Kylie, joking, I said,
it's a war zone.
We were driving down the road. I said, we would never survive in the dating world at this age. I said, we were so set in our ways. You either would fucking like me or you would hate me. I'm not changing. Like, it's just, I told her, so we just wouldn't fucking make it. So I finally told him, I said, I would just marry my best guy friend, combine our funds, do cool shit, don't fuck, and just have a harem of women that provide services for us.
Correct.
And that's it. I said, because I just wouldn't make it.
Right.
Like, because in this town too, it's gonna be the same pool, people you went to school with, and like that. It's there's no way. I feel bad for you guys. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. Someone posted. I think I posted it to something your brother posted or whatever.
I'm sure it was.
I came across it.
I'm sure it was something special.
Basically, the comment it was showing a montage of all these women that were the question that was asked of them is, how much money does your husband need to make?
Oh God, the 3 6s, 6 feet tall,
6 figures.
Is it 6?
6 inches.
6 inches. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So that, and these women, they were attractive, but they weren't like movie attractive. They were
8s. I'm an 8.
Yeah. They were Clarksville 8. Right.
That's pretty good.
It was pretty good, right?
That's pretty good.
But if they would be like a Los Angeles 4. You know what I mean?
Or a Vegas 3.
Vegas 3. Whatever.
Shit.
You know what I mean? But anyway, they were answering the question, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh man, 150,000 to $250,000. One chick said 500K. I mean,
Bitch,
every single, there's only one of them, and I swear she was probably gay and likes women. Is the reason why she answered it this way.
What did she say?
And she said 50 to 70K is how much as low as she would
That's
go.
really reasonable.
And I was like, okay. And I was like, but she was the only one. She had like a bandana on, so I assumed she was lesbian. But
like how you stereotype. Right. You're like, bandana, gay.
Right, exactly. She munches carpet. But anyway.
Yeah. We have a lot in common.
Right. They just threw her in there to like mix it up. But anyway, someone commented about that video was like, men today have to work 5 times as harder for women that are 20 times as worse as they have to work 5 times as hard as their grandfather, right? Making all this money, right? To attract a woman 20 times as not as good as their grandmother.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's accurate.
It's accurate. I mean, I
think that's accurate because I think that the modern woman today is just a dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Besides their bodies, they're just dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Pearl said it best. She was like, or it was Pearl, or one of them said that
just
untraditional women want traditional men, but you don't bring any traditional values to the table. So it doesn't work. And there's also the guy said, these don't know how much money they make. And he was like, you realize we don't give a shit about how much money you make, right?
My mom even did, she's a boomer generation. She detected it early on, saw the kind of how that was going too, because she would taught me and my brother how to cook. Because she's like, she knew that seeing our other 2 kids, not everybody
Those are lost things.
That law started. Women just don't know how to cook anymore.
I mean, it's like...
You're going to have to learn how yourself. And I like to cook.
I do too. I enjoy it. Because growing up, my dad and mom both cooked. Yeah. Like my dad mostly did breakfast, and then my mom would do dinner.
Correct.
And then it shifted that I now enjoy cooking.
Right.
Like, Kylie didn't do a whole lot of cooking. She can cook. I'm not saying she's an idiot. But like she in the last like 10 or 11 years or so has gotten more experimentative and actually is in the kitchen more now and cooks. But we swap up. We both cook.
Right.
I like the idea, and your mom had it right. Like I like the idea, and I used to ask my parents when they were cooking, like, how do you do that? Well, here's how you fry an egg. Here's how you do this. And you watch and you learn.
Yeah.
But, I like the idea.
Follow a recipe. It's not
like
hard.
I know how to do laundry. Like I told my wife, I was like, I want to be able to take care of myself.
Right.
I didn't marry you to, like, in some households do.
Yeah, I don't want a fucking maid.
I don't want a maid. I want us to be a team. We're
Right.
a team.
Correct.
But I want to be able, God forbid something happened to me or you, we should both be able to do everything in case something happens. Like, I want to be able to do those things.
Right.
Like, it's cool when we joke around, we're like, well, that's your job. Like, I still believe in gender role things. Like, she's better at certain things than I am, and I'm better at certain things than she is, and that's just the way it is. Like, I can't fucking sew or anything or, whittle or whatever.
Well, you can't be, you can't have somebody to be the yin to your yang if you're both yangs.
Exactly. You got to be some yin-yang.
Right.
Yeah, so.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Like that's the reason why gender roles are important is because you do have someone is there to fill the gap for what you lack.
Correct.
Right? And if you're both doing both have the same strengths.
It's weird.
Well,
it's like that.
You're kind of self-defeating.
And Jacob's the thing that he sent you about the women wanting things like those. And I love when he has that big podcast. They have like 12 of those Instagram women, and they start talking about things that they want or look for in a man. And like, especially the money thing, 150 to 250 to 500K. Dude, do you realize how small your demographic is when you go that much money?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
And the average height of men is like 5'9". So when you say you want somebody 6 foot tall or higher, well, okay, you're literally shrinking your pool. And then if you're 25 to 30 to 35 years old, your pool is tiny.
Yeah, be like, look, I'm sorry, that dude doesn't exist. And if he
doesn't want you.
He doesn't want you. You're not hot enough. That's the reality.
It's the reality. Pearl said it in that thing. Remember that she was like, I'm a 5.
It's the reality.
And the other girl's like, I'm an 8. No, you're not. She said 8 and 9 and 10s have modeling contracts.
Right. Here's what the actual post said, because I forgot about that. He made a joke in here too. It was like, modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did. For women, 20 times worse than what their grandmothers were. It's called Hoeflation. And it's destroying Western men's desires to be providers and protectors. And he's absolutely correct.
That is right. He's right.
And the thing is I don't know whose fault it was. I don't know if it was it's the chicken and egg conversation. Was it men that pushed women to this? Was it? I don't think it was one thing. I think it's multiple factors. You could point to multiple things on how we got here, right? And I think they all contributed in some way. I don't think there's one. I don't think there's like a single catalyst that got us to this point. Some people say it's like the sexual liberation of the 60s. Some people say it was a birth control pill. Some people say even further back, whenever World War II happened, women had to go in the workforce, and then they never went back to the homemakers. They stayed in the workforce. So you could say it was World War II that started it off. There's all sorts of different catalysts that happen. And I'm not saying women should be commanded to stay at home. That's not what I'm saying.
And procreate.
But I'm saying we should encourage and promote doing that, if that makes sense.
It does. And it's also why our when you're on that same I'm going to say the words wrong. It's people aren't having kids anymore like they were.
Replacement rates.
Excuse me. Yeah, because people are waiting longer or not getting married anymore or waiting or just not doing it anymore, having kids anymore. Like their career, whatever that bullshit is people say, they get whatever and they just, It's almost like it's frowned upon to inscribe those traditional vows like you were just talking about, like where it's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
You can still tell people like you can be a wife one day or a mom and have kids. Like it's just kind of like,
right.
I think Ben Shapiro had a thing about that too. He mentioned it, and I can't remember the episode he talked about that.
Well, we've gone too far one way to where it in order to be the ideal woman, and same thing for men too. In order to be the ideal man or whatever, that you have to slave away for 50 years at a fucking corporate job.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, that is not what you should try to be successful to take care of your family, but making that your priority in life is just not good for anybody.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, there's something Dad told me they mentioned that there's a bill trying to be passed for 4-day work weeks. Something actually happening right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Something
legally switching to
mandate it.
I don't know what it's. He told me, and he's not an idiot. I mean, he keeps up with it like you do too, as far as that stuff.
Love that.
But there's something he passed on. I was like, because he's a big advocate for it, and he's in upper management. Like he's a big advocate. Done the homework on it. Statistics all show it as well. That really jumped. That really
get on
jumped.
shout up on the mountaintop.
Just because you mentioned working, so it jumped. I jumped the rail off of that. But I'm a huge advocate for. I want to do 140 and put up a cot and sleep. I would.
Seriously,
I would stay the night at the office.
I want to go into a hyperbaric time chamber like in Dragon Ball Z and do all my work in 40 hours.
And then leave.
And then I come out and it's only like an hour's passed.
That'd be cool.
And then I could have the rest of the week to do whatever the fuck I want.
That'd be cool.
Right. So that's my ideal job. Or, inventing something, becoming wealthy. Or
I used to want to be a Power Ranger.
Becoming friends with Elon Musk or something.
I'm trying to make famous friends.
Trying to be a Power Ranger, yeah. Or like get in some sort of industrial accident and have powers, but then I would profit off of my powers somehow.
I told my dad today after we rode, I said...
That would be my dream.
I said, just so you know, I think that dirt bike riding is better than sex. And I got quiet, and he was like, he said, you sure about that? I was like, yeah. I was like, what we just did in the woods, I would rather do that any day of the week. And he was like, you're obviously doing it wrong. If
the dirt bike riding or
sex. He's like, you're doing it wrong. And I was like, mm-mm. I was like, I'm telling you right now, 100%. Sorry. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I was like, I don't know why anybody would not want to buy into this and do it. I do not understand. It's the single greatest fucking thing ever. It's the coolest thing.
Yeah, but that's because you grew up with it, or
I'm telling you,
would that be the same with anybody?
I want to bottle up what I did today and sell it.
I've heard surfers say the same thing.
Literally, I want to take what the adrenaline I had and the feeling I had and everything, the scariness of it, the sketchiness, everything. I want to bottle it up in a little bottle and I want to sell it.
Maybe there is something. Maybe I
want you to fucking drink it.
It's you're an adrenaline junkie. Whether you're not an extreme adrenaline junkie.
They say that
but you are an adrenaline junkie.
They say people that do that kind of stuff. Your brain is wired different than someone who doesn't.
Probably.
I don't know how true that is. What it says.
Because what you just said about wanting to bottle it up and
I do. I want. It's incredible.
You're obsessive with it, and you would rather do it than any other thing.
Anything.
I've heard people that are really into the surf culture do the same thing, say the same thing. And I'm looking at a surfer, I'm like, you just don't bored on something about the taming the wave.
For me, I've been doing it for so long. Now the woods is my happy place. That's right. I've done track racing. I've done I've done it all, indoors, whatever. But I don't know. There's just something about it. I can't. It's hard. You just have to do it. There's something about it, and it's also like if you do foilers or razors. I like to ride anything. Vespas.
Has anyone? Have you ever seen anyone do it and not like it?
Oh yeah, I've seen people I've taken people out that like.
Okay.
It's intimidating, and it's a lot more physical than they think it's gonna be. Oh, yeah, I've had people that are like, "Yeah, you're just sitting around." I'm like, "Okay, cool, I'll see you in there." And an hour in, they have to stop, and they're like, "I can't. My fucking arms hurt. Everything hurts." And the next day, they have to take aspirin because they can't move. Yeah. So but I've taken people out.
That happens to me when I paddle a canoe.
But I've taken people out and also been like, "This is the greatest thing ever." Like we've done demo rides for razors this past year that $30,000 machines. And put those on a 2-mile loop and got back and been like, I get it. Now I know why people buy these. Doing fun shit is great, but I was telling him just reminiscing and after I got done, because you always have a post conversation after you ride, something sketchy happens, and I don't know why we don't run our GoPros. We got 9 of them.
Yeah.
I need to start filming all this shit we do, but yeah, I told him, I said, I could sell this. I would want to sell this feeling. Well, I could do it too. Make a fortune.
I don't know. I think you would make a lot more if you could sell the vinegar strokes feeling, but just saying.
You can't. It's illegal. They have a place in Vegas that sells you that feeling.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would still.
There's places you can rent stuff, but that's what I was telling him. It would take friends. If you just got into it tomorrow, it would take y'all time to build up to get to that level, obviously. But still, it's cool. You remember on the street bikes when we got you into that? It's just a special. I don't know why anybody
just. Where did we go we go to Montgomery Central? Where the fuck we go? School.
That was Sango.
Sango, yeah.
We were racing the Grom.
Some shit like that. I had to put the Grom on the back of a truck because I couldn't drive it out there yet.
Yep.
And so
I forgot we did that.
Yeah, pulled it off that truck.
We
and I was
raced
just
that
like
course at
tooling around in the parking lot, learning how to operate this damn thing.
I remember that.
And
Yep,
then,
Groms are super stupid.
And then I finally got back to my apartment and I laid it over in the grass.
I dropped mine on the damn interstate.
I dropped it in the grass big time. I think I busted my knee.
I dropped mine on the highway in Bellevue. That really hurt.
Oh, yeah, when it was raining.
Yeah, I dropped
was
it.
Was that in Bellevue? Was it Bellevue? Yeah,
that was, boy's little chickie at the time.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a brutal.
I dropped the shit out of that bike.
I looked like you had like a rubber knee because you bounced up so fast.
It hurt tremendously, but the fear and rain and cold set in.
And you were in the middle of the highway.
In the middle of the highway. And I was like, no! Like, if it would have stopped, it fucked.
Right.
Yeah. In my Vans and stupid. Yeah, that was terrible.
That was a good time. I guess I'm getting a tattoo this year. I guess I got to get on a bike. I got to get a bike.
The bike is exciting, but the tattoo is the most exciting. Like, I'm super pumped about that because I can't get nobody to go with me anymore and get tattooed. There used to be like a tradition. There would be like 9 of us. Well, that's really exaggerated. Like 4 of us would go and like make a big deal about it. And then everybody just like quit going. It was just me. And then like now it's just me. So, yeah.
Because I guess they're like, well, I don't want to have like every inch of skin covered, but you do.
Yeah, like it's not extreme level yet. It's a lot, but
you still got some. I mean,
there's some space. Like the other day,
you got a lot more. Like your legs have been bare for a long time, and then
those are getting
finally starting to get them going.
I just put another one on my front, so like all this is now done.
Like you eventually going to have like to where it looks like you're.
I don't want a bodysuit.
I
don't want to do that.
Okay,
but. It's getting,
you're on your way though.
It's getting there. Yeah, I told Kyle the other day I want another one behind my other ear. She was like, "I think it's a little much, but you're going to do what you want to anyway." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I'm just letting you know." I don't think I'll ever get. There's some spots that I don't think I'll ever get done, but this year is your year. Like I'm super fucking pumped.
I still think forearm.
The forearm for that one is the way to go.
It's the way to go.
It's the way to do it, man.
But that's like right there. Bow.
It's exciting.
I know it's right. I mean, there's no.
I will hype you up so.
There's no hiding it.
I will hype you up so bad that day. I will be like on a 10.
I think I should for the placement of that one. I think I should do what you were talking about with the whatever the stencil, something similar to where I can
have a bunch at the house. I'll bring you
see
some.
what it's like.
Yeah,
and just kind of wear it around for the day. Be like, oh, that's cool. See if I like it. But if not, I may. If I don't, I'm like, let's just start with something that I can cover.
Yeah, like on
this
the
I can't. If I
something.
put it on my forearm, right, put it on my nipple,
on your nipple,
like a little spider web on my nipple.
Or a pineapple.
Right. An avocado, except my nipple is the core.
Oh, I like that. Speaking of nipples, someone brought that up. Mom was showing me this gross-ass video of the dude. It was like tits, but it panned out. It was a big, fat dude. And I was like, it's some big-ass blowing nipples. Like, looks like the surface of the moon. It's all cratered and shit.
It's like Braille.
It's all Braille. You're like, how your weight, height? No, cool.
It's blind man's titties.
Yeah. How much time we have on this shit?
We have like a few minutes left. We should wrap this up, I suppose.
Do our exit for us. I did the intro. Do our exit for us.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. Like, subscribe, share, comment.
Thanks,
bye. Go, bye.
He loved it.
Wait, let me do it again. Any last words? You loved it.
Yeah, no, like I said, the same thing we always say, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with us. Comment, please, or private messages stuff.
Comment where you comment.
Yeah, we got still got guests planned for the month. I'll finalize some dates this week. And then we'll probably have we'll have a third on this month. And then we'll try to get, see if B wants to come back. We need to get Garrett to come on here.
Yeah, we need to get some more folks.
We need to get Garrett on here because he used to do our original show with us. He liked it. I mentioned it before, so we need to do that. We'll talk about fatherhood since he's a new dad this year.
Yeah, that'll be
great. This past year, excuse me.
Send us out.
Yeah, let me take us out on this little beautiful.
On my Grammy winning.
Actually, I'll be singing our intro here soon.
That's true. R&B style.